Let's make something from this blanket. My grandpa passed away this year and my mom did some like cleaning of his house this weekend and she brought me back this blanket. He loved classic cars. He had a Model A. And so we're going to make this into a sweater, not a sweatshirt like I usually do with these blankets, but a sweater. Okay, so I have this sweater that we're gonna trace that my assistant is so graciously showing us right now. Okay, so I just cut it straight up from the bottom and then followed the side here and around this curve and around the curve of the top. Now I'm going to take this off and flip this over, excuse me, ma'am, to cut out the other side so that they can be even. Okay, did the same thing for the front. And now I'm going to cut this down the center so that we have the two separate panels. Okay, now that's cut in half. I fucked up a little bit right here, but that is fine. Okay, now I am going to pseudo serge along the whole perimeter, which will keep it from fraying, and in the parts where there isn't the like car, it's like technically 3 different blankets, so it will keep it all together. Everything is pseudo serge now, and I'm gonna attach the front 2 panels to the back, across the top of the shoulders and down the sides. And I actually just decided that we're gonna make this so that it's reversible. So sometimes I could wear it with the black out, sometimes with the white out. So instead of doing it like wrong sides together and sewing them like this, I'm going to just overlap them a little bit like this to sew them together. That way it's like a flat seam that looks the same on both sides, instead of whenever I wear it one way having a like protruding seam like this. So now we have this vest or this black, and now we have like a yellow car and kind of white on the back. I'm so glad that I decided to do it reversible. Something that I thought about doing, but then I just didn't because I was being lazy, was I technically should have done like the thread white whenever I'm sewing it this way and the bobbin black, and then flip-flop that whenever I was sewing it the other way. I just kept it on white, and so you can see the stitching down the side on the black. I was too lazy and I don't care, like I don't think that looks bad, but for it to have looked really good, should have done that. Something I did fuck up, I thought about that one before and was just too lazy. Something I did fuck up, whenever I was cutting out the back and the front pieces, I thought I lined them up, like I did line them up on the same place on the blanket, but the back piece goes up a little bit further, so in all, it makes it a little bit shorter, and I didn't take that into account, and so the front is like 1 inch or 2 longer than the back, which again, maybe that'll bug some people. It does not bug me. Using the same sweater that I have been tracing, I'm going to trace the sleeve, and so I'll cut up here, follow the curve of this, and then I'll stop right there, and then fold this over so that I'll continue going back down basically like this, and back down to get this if it wasn't folded in half. So now we have this shape. They're purposefully not centered. I wanted to be as close to where we cut before. I have like 3 or 4 inches left of fabric on this side that I wanted to leave just in case I want to do something else with it, instead of sacrifice another inch or so here to make the car even on there. You won't even really be able to tell with it being like wrapped around my arm. Also, the cars on this one are upside down. I didn't feel like doing it the other way and then having to sew the fringe onto it so that they could be this way. So they're gonna be upside down. Again, I feel like you really can't tell that much whenever it's like wrapped around my arm. To pseudo serge these, and then I will make them into sleeves by sewing the sides up together. And again, I'm gonna do it by overlapping them, not by putting them together like this. And then I will set them into the shoulders of the vest. I'm realizing it's probably impossible to like overlap these and sew them. I think that's gonna get like, you can't do that on a sewing machine. Oh, am I gonna have to hand sew this? Okay, it was not impossible to do it with machine, but that definitely was not the easiest thing I've ever done. I just started on one side and then like bunched it up around the needle as much as I could, and then whenever I couldn't go any further forward, then I switched and went from the other side, and I was able to meet them in the middle. Okay, I added the sleeves, and then last thing I did was cut out 2 rectangles that were together the length of the like neckline where the collar goes, and I sewed those on. I did it as 2 rectangles instead of 1 just because I wanted the fringe on both ends. But then I just sewed that on as a collar, and here it is. I'm not even gonna finish the insides further than the pseudo serge because I want it to be like the car lines up perfectly. I am gonna add some buttons, but I don't have those for right now. Which color do you like more? The light or the dark? I think I might like dark more, but it's hard to decide. I am really glad that I did it reversible.